Hey guys, this is just an update on a bunch of things I never talked about yet. Things that happened that I never talked about, which were really cool for me anyway. So, first thing I want to make is a correction. In the last video, I said my wife said there are bad things that you can they'll take your soul or kill your soul. So you got to be careful. And what she was, I don't think, as a matter of fact, I know 99% that nothing can kill your soul. Nothing. Okay? So you got your spirit and you got your soul. Ain't nothing going to take your soul. You take your own soul, or the influence on you takes your soul, or whatever happens. But like, you kill people, that you lose your spirit, you lose your soul. In that aspect, you lose your spirit, the sparks, the seeds. But nothing can take your soul. She was referring to something else. My innocence inside me is separate from me, in a sense. It's like a baby being born, and it has its own voice, it has its own intelligence, and it's going to leave me soon because it's got to go. And I think she was talking about that, not necessarily my soul. So I want to correct that. When she said bad things from the Anunnaki, the bad Anunnaki things, I said they'll lose your soul, but I got it wrong. I just want to make that. They don't take your soul. They can't kill your soul. She was talking specifically about my innocence, and I screwed that up in my wording because I didn't catch it. So that's one thing I wanted to correct. The second thing I want to, not correct, but the next thing is, I woke up one morning for about 15 minutes to half an hour. I'm laying there, and I'm with Christ. I'm talking to him, and he came over and gave me a golden cross. And I'm like, well, what's this for? And he says, it is. And it's cross. It has JC on it, and it's gold cross. And he put it around my neck, and then another priest came up and did the christening thing again. So I asked him, what's it for? And he goes, because you made it into Christendom, not Christendom. Yeah, Christendom. You made it into Christendom. And I'm like, cool. And he goes, it means a lot. So he goes, it means a lot. It means to other people that I don't know, but I guess, like, if you're in Christendom and you earn this cross, that's a big deal, and people are like, whoa, respect that guy because he did some heavy shit to get to that point, something like that. So I figured it was just because I survived my ordeal, my losing my skins, seeing the spirit world, and healing over the last 7 years. Or is it 8 now? I don't know, 7 or 8. Anyway, I didn't off myself. I took the hard route, and I earned it. I made it to Christendom. I passed all their tests in Christendom, and I received this gold cross because of it, and a bunch of other stuff. That's cool. So I just want to say that. And the thing is, he put it on me, and I could feel the weight of it. I could feel it sitting on my skin. I can't right now, but when he initially put it on, all day I could feel it. It was weird, man. It's still there now. I wish I could show it to you, but it's just a gold cross with Christ on it, and he blessed it, did all this stuff, and they made it. They make them specifically for each person. And he spent like days, like almost 2 weeks making this thing for me. So, fuck. Right? That's some heavy stuff, man. I got it on me, and I can feel it. It feels like Christ, the energy of Christ, like condensed and really heavy. It's like you can feel the weight. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you that because that's a cool experience I had. And pretty awesome stuff, man. So the next thing was they did that. They did this electrolysis thing, or where they hook you up somehow. I never got to see it, but I could feel it when they did it. Like I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and my whole soul would be going like this. It's because they're, you know, when you got, what's that called, where you pull your nerve in your leg. I don't know. And it hurts like a son of a bitch. Well, they were hitting my nerves with some kind of electricity. Christ was doing this, and it was an experiment. I found out later. It was an experimental. And I don't know why they were doing it. They told me they were doing it then when I went to bed the first time, and I was pissed off because I figured it was going to hurt like everything else they do. But it didn't. All I did was get some wobbles and a bunch of energy released. But they did it for 4 days, I think, when I slept that night. And it didn't bother me too much. Except when the energy came out, it hurt like hell. They did that. Then they said, you made history. I woke up one morning and they said, you made history. And I'm going, what did I do? And they go, you're in the newspaper again. I'm like, well, what did I do? And they said that you're the first one to ever receive this experimental, nerve ending, your nervous system. They jacked your nervous system. They hooked up your nervous system, meaning all the nerves in your body. Google nervous system, and you can see all the nerves in your body. What they did was they took my nervous system, they hooked it up to electricity, and blasted it. And that brought me, I don't know what it did, but it helped me in some way where it lessened the voices in my head. And they said I made the newspaper, and I was the first one in the history of Christianity, or the history of something. I'm going with Christianity, or the history of mankind, or something like that. Because I guess they just developed this, and they've never done it on an actual living person, from spirit into a living person, like a physical person. And they said, you're the first one to ever receive this, and in history. And I said, well, and they said, I made the newspaper because of it. How cool is that? All right. So that's another thing. And the day, I don't know if I said too much about this, but in St. Lucian, I'm an honorary citizen of St. Lucian. And the day the Hare Krishnas came and gave me that big party, it was a pretty big deal, but I ended up going to the bathroom, made fun of me, or laughed at me and everything. It was okay, I guess. But, yeah, because I did good things in St. Lucian, I don't know, I remember swearing a lot, and bitching and screaming and fighting, and them kicking me out. But they made me one anyway. Well, they didn't kick me out, they just moved me when I was going through my fits, my bad days. And so they made me that, and they had a big party about it. And my grandma was there, and she was laughing. And so that happened. Okay, the next one is, this happened yesterday. I had a dream. They moved me to, well, they didn't move me, actually. It was in St. Lucian. I had this dream where I was lost in Vancouver, where I used to live. I get lost in big cities. So I'm with this whole, we're all like 16 years old, kids running around. I'm lost in Vancouver. And I can't find my way home. So I figured if I follow the beach, I could find my way home because I live near the beach. And I was heading in the right direction, but I thought I was anyway. But so we're following the beach home, and we had this one crazy guy with us. I don't know where he came from, but he always kept getting in arguments with us. and he'd leave, and then he'd show up again, and he'd leave, and he'd show up, as we're all lost. And eventually, we're outside this place, and the crazy guy shows up, and the crazy guy leads us down into he goes, I got some friends that can help you out. So we get down in there, and we get down in some building or basement or some underground parking lot like that. We're in this underground parking lot, I think it was that, and he goes, this is my friend, and this guy comes out, and he looks like a serial killer from hell, like, and the guy that was helping, that kept arguing with us, and fighting with us, and we cast him out. We said, get the fuck out of here. We don't want to hang with you because you suck, right? And I'm trying to find a way home. I'm trying to find my way home the whole time. This guy comes. We got rid of him because he kept making problems for us. And so he took us to his friend who looked like a crazy gangster, and he's hanging out with like 30 other ones in this underground parking lot. So we get there, and he comes up. He goes, this is my friend's going to help you out, but first we got to take care of some business. And he walks up, and he goes, when you cast me out, you really pissed me off. And when you pissed me off, you pissed off my big grunt here, the big gangster guy. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay. And this is their logic. And then the guy walks up, you pissed him off, you pissed me off. And then he punches me in the gut, right? And as soon as he punches me in the gut, I wake up, and Christ goes, yeah, but you lose. He goes, you lose, you lost. And I'm like, and well, to me, it was a dream. It was a dream, right? I was in dream space. So to me, it was real life, right? Now, they never gave me I didn't like these people at all. But I had no reason to hit them or knife them or kill them, right? I had no reason to fight these people, the gangster or the crazy guy that came around once in a while. And so all of a sudden I end up in a situation where the crazy guy takes me to the gang leader, and the gang leader punches me in the gut, and I wake up, and I'm like, well, fuck, I never had a chance, right? And as I was waking up, I saw myself pulling out my knife and sticking him in the throat and here, like right up into his head, like. And Christ goes, you lost, and I'm like. But throughout the whole process of the dream, it was a long-ass dream, too. I can't even begin. It'd take me half an hour to explain it. But throughout the whole dream, he gave me little indicators of telling me I was progressing downward. I wasn't progressing upward, like down into more violence and stuff. And I was following this, and like through the dream, all of a sudden I came to this guy, and he's laying on the ground, and he's saying something like, he was saying something indicating that I was going in the wrong direction. You're going in the wrong direction. You're going in the wrong direction. And I never caught it. I'm like, what's he trying to tell me, right? And then I move on. We end up in this other place. I'm trying to find my way home. We end up in this other place, and there's these cops that were looking for the bad guy, the crazy guy that was coming. And they looked right at us, and I should have waved them down to tell them where the crazy guy was. But I didn't. I just let them right on by. Like, they looked at us and said, no, nothing going on here, and then they just left, but I should have waved them down. So there were all these little cues throughout the dream that Christ put in the dream to where I could have circumvented and got rid of this crazy guy without doing any violence. But I didn't, because it was so real. It was weird, man. Anyway, in the end, I got punched in the gut, and I blew it. Well, I did do one good thing. We were down in another place, down by a park or something, and there was us guys, like 5 of us guys in the same dream. We were down by a park, and some girls came up to us, and they're talking to us. And they go, you guys in a rock band? And I'm like, no, we're not in a rock band. I go, we're actually lost. And she goes, oh. And I go, hey, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And she goes, "Oh, we're just walking around doing." I go, "You gotta get the hell out of here, because this is not." And then my other friends chimed in and said, "Yeah, this is not a nice area of town. You should go get the hell out of here while you can." And so we gave them some money to get on the bus. The girls, these little girls, man, and we're like, "You get the hell out of here as fast as you can. Get to the mall or wherever you live. Get out of this place. This is not safe for you here." And so we gave them some money to get on the bus and get the hell out of there. And so Christ said that was good. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. And so I did one good thing in the dream, but Christ was mad. Christendom Christ. This is the Christ that was doing it. Christendom Christ said that I should have took out the crazy guy, and I should have never had him led me down into that parking lot to meet the seriously crazy people. And when I got punched in the gut, that was it. And he pulled me out of the dream. And I'm like, and he goes, "Why didn't you fight back?" And I go, "Well, they gave me no reason." And by the time I got the reason, he goes, "The guy was leading you down. He was owning your ass. He was leading you down in the bad place. He was telling you where to go home. But it wasn't. It was a lie." And I'm like, "Shit, well, sorry." And he goes, "And then he led you down into the thing." And he goes, "Oh, we got a lot of work to do, Rich." And I'm like, "Fuck." And he goes, "I gave you a bunch of clues inside the dream." And I'm like, "Yeah, I remember them. The cops and the guy laying on the ground." So anyway, that's another one. And I lost that. Oh, and last night I had 3 more dreams that I lost. I guess I'm just not in a violent kind of space. But the thing is, I'm better in the illusion, the mass illusion. The illusion, the cross between waking consciousness and the spirit world. But when I go into the dream space, I totally lose it. Christ wants me to learn in the 3 states. It's like in the illusion, the mass illusion is astral plane, when you're a spirit in the astral plane, and it's half dream, half. So when I'm talking to Christ face to face, I am conscious of it in my brain, and spiritually in the astral plane talking to Christ. When I go into dream space, so I have all 3 of those. I either gotta separate them or combine them. I don't know which way it's going. Maybe it's all 3, but it's really hard to explain. So I got 3 states of consciousness I'm trying to work out to defend myself. In the dream space, I'm creating in the illusion, and the illusion I'm creating for reality. And he goes, you gotta own these 3 things. And I'm like, "I don't." And he goes, "I know, and we're gonna fucking get you going, so pay attention." So it's really complicated, guys. And I'm always drifting between dream space and the astral world, or the astral world between consciousness. Okay? And the dream space for me is the hardest, because I can get led astray because I'm just a stupid kid running around. Unless he's engineering it. Okay? So he can engineer my dreams, because he goes into the dream with me and makes things happen. So it's not actually my dream. He's manipulating my dream. So there's that to contend with. And I got all this going on, plus my daily bullshit life in reality. So I got all that going on. Okay, so I just tell you, it's pretty rough. But this is what I'm learning to defend myself and take ownership of myself and my actions and my stuff in dream space, delusion, and consciousness, which all works out, all 3 of them, or 2 of them, it's called the mass illusion. It's either consciousness or the astral world and consciousness. Either way, it's hard to do. So, and then another little thing, 2 weeks ago, and I'll put this in because it was really cool. I was bitching and fighting with Christ. I think it's St. Lucian Christ. And I was fighting with St. Lucian Christ and the town. He runs the town there. And well, him and a bunch of other ones. But anyway, I'm with one of these St. Lucian Christ. He's taking care of me. And he was doing that back thing on me. And I said, just take me to the prison. I'm like, you know what? Take me to the prison. I'm just quiet there. Just being a sarcastic son of a bitch, right? And all of a sudden I ended up in the prison. And I'm in this prison, and there's a whole bunch of prison cells, and they're all rusty, really old and rusty. And I was awake when I knew I flew consciously. And here I am. And I go, wow, that's nasty. So I opened up one of the prison cells, and I went inside, and I'm sitting there, and I put myself there in my mind. I put myself there. So I'm in my mind, and I'm in the astral world, seeing the astral world with my mind. Okay? This wasn't a dream. I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, and all of a sudden, this ghost comes out of the wall. And it was this big giant guy, and he had like a steel helmet, like the knights had, and it came down like this, and it had a little eye space like that, and it came down, and it went like that, and it had like a little thing here. It came down like that, and it was like a soldier, a knight soldier, and he had this thing on, and this guy was fucking huge. He looked like Brock Lesnar from the wrestling, and he was like a white guy, and he had this thing on his head, metal thing, and he was like fucking almost 7 feet and muscle, like it looked like Brock Lesnar. Cause I saw a video of Brock Lesnar the other day. I was just scooting around. I don't watch that stuff, but I saw him, and I'm like, that it just triggered that guy that I saw in the jail. And he came out of the wall like a ghost, and he looked at me like that, right? And then also he disappeared back into the wall. And I'm like, holy fuck! And it had like writing on the sides. And this guy was in jail. Now I'm like, they're not physically in jail, but the bars were physically there to see. The bars were there to physically see, but I went into the jail, and this guy came out of the wall, but he couldn't do anything to me. And then he went back into the wall, so I don't know what that was. So I left that jail cell, and I walked down a little bit, and I went into another jail cell, and I'm standing, I just walked in, I opened up the jail door, and I walked in, and this guy, he come up, and he was skinny and had long, looked like a chronic pot smoker, right? Like 40 years of smoking pot, one of them skinny guys. And he was insane, man. He was insane. And he came out at me, and he went like that through the wall, came right out of the wall. And he was all red, and it was dripping, and it was blood. It was blood. He was covered in blood. And he came at me, and it was glistening. And he came at me, and his hair was black with blood. His mouth was blood. His whole body was just covered in blood, and it was dripping. And he came out at me like that, and he had these long arms, and they came right out like that, right at me. And he was all red, and he was naked. And he was in there, and all of a sudden he got pulled back into the wall. And that was, and I'm like, holy fuck. And Christ basically said, yep, these are the people that are in hell. We're never getting out of there they done some seriously bad stuff. And he goes, you weren't supposed to see that, but I guess you were, because you went there to see it. And he goes, do you really want to be in prison? No, shut the fuck up and get back there and take your spinal tap. Basically he said. And I'm like, wow. And I go, well, what are the jail? What's the jail, right? And he goes, well, it's a symbolic representation. Basically, it's a jail. But we can't take the soul and put it in a jail cell like a fucking zoo, Rich. It's not a fucking zoo. The prisoners are not there. The jail is there for you to see. And he goes, they're all in there, but they're down in hell. And he goes, when you entered the thing, they came up to see you. And he goes, basically, you were seeing into hell. They were coming up. You were seeing who was in hell, basically. Call it hell, lack of a better word. You know, the low, seventh circle of hell, or whatever they call it. There's like 7 levels of hell. maybe more, I don't know. But he goes, that's where they are. They're all down there, they're never coming out. And he goes, these are the people that are down there. And he goes, you saw 2 of them. There's billions or millions, something like that, all throughout time. They're all down there. And he goes, I'd show you the whole thing, but nope, I ain't. And there you go, guys. You don't want to go to hell. Holy fuck. Fucking fuck me up. And then after Christ explained it to me a little bit, it's sort of like the jail cells were like an invisible wall, but were made so you could see them as jail cells. And when I went in, I was like in the lobby of hell to go in, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. It was weird. Oh, it was really... And you know, it's just little things you forget to say on the video here, but it's an experience, and it showed me what it's a little bit more like in Christianity or the spirit world. So these are, you know, they're just experiences I've had, and I like to share them. And that's all my videos are. And I had a lot of time traveling things happen, but I don't remember them. But I'm running into it again, so I'm hoping I get some experiences with time traveling. Other than that one in Windsor, 1892. Anyway, I just thought I'd make this little update video on some cool things that happened that I never got to say. Because I I waited before I made a video so I could get a bunch of them and put them out for you. So, that's about it. Some more cool experiences I like to share. So, don't become a mass murderer and end up in hell. Later, guys.